There is a weak point in flight schools. They won't teach you how to study an Airbus, how to study a Boeing, how to study an Embraer, because that's not the work of the flight school. It's very different how you will approach when you start your initial training. For example, I'm flying the Airbus 320 as a captain in China. For preparing to get into the Airbus, I will first tell you what I won't do. Let's say that we are about to get inside into the airline. The first thing, and the people do mistakes about before getting in, is they are trying to learn the system, procedure, and failures. It is very important, yes, but before start studying the Airbus, before getting to the airline, it's useless because you can find information that is not updated. You might learn things that you don't need to learn. It's very hard to know what things they will ask you, or the real things that you need to learn. And the failures, if you have a good base in flying the airplane simulator, failures, of course, it will be challenging, but it won't be as challenging as if you don't study in the right way. There is also a misunderstood about simulators. Simulators that you have at home, it won't be as the real life. If you're trying to find the best settings, if you are trying to find the best and most expensive stuff to try to feel real, you won't ever achieve that. You will hit the wall. The simulator is not made to feel as the real airplane. It was made so you can practice and you can squeeze the good side of the simulator, and trying to feel real the airplane, it never is gonna be the same. Even though the airlines spend thousands, millions of dollars in a 4D simulator, the ones that move inside, and inside the cockpit, everything is the same as the airplane, it doesn't feel the same. Why you are trying to get your simulator as real as possible? That's also a really big mistake. And of course, this mistake is attached to don't have a simulator at home. Okay, you will succeed if you go inside the school. Of course, you will pass. Most of the people pass. Why? Because you are paying for a service. You are paying to get the license. The school will help you, completely help you to get your license done, your commercial, private, instrument, whichever rating you are looking for. They will provide you enough tools. The thing is that if you don't have a simulator, eventually you will start lacking, or you will get a disadvantage for other pilots that they have a simulator. One of the keys that from my succeed was because I had that simulator at home since I was 8 years old. I got the Microsoft Flight Simulator 1998, and that's the best gift my father could ever give to me. Because it's that moment, it doesn't matter if you don't understand. Just try to fly the airplane inside simulator. You will get more knowledge than if you just scroll on TikTok or Instagram. Not having a simulator will bring you a lot of problems in the long run. You might get, there's people inside the airline that they got the job without simulator at home. Yes, but definitely it spends more time, or they are having a bad time inside of the airline because they lack of simulators at home. It is very important, crew, that you get a simulator as soon as possible. Which one? The one that you can have. If it's computer, it is better. If you have an Xbox or PS5, the Microsoft Flight Simulator is an amazing tool. Just practicing there. The other big mistake is trying to buy the most expensive or more tools that you need. The only tools that you need is your computer, your monitor to run the simulator, and a joystick. After that, whatever you buy is nice to have. But that's the important things that you need to have at home. With these ones, I can confident tell you that you will succeed inside the simulator with only these tools. The problem is that the capitalism try to make us feel that it's not enough what we have. And because we don't have enough things, I cannot study and I won't succeed. No, that's a lie. That won't happen. More important to have a better tools, the most important thing is that you fly inside your simulator. Well, after giving you what I won't do before studying the Airbus 320, what I actually will do is invest on a. We are talking about the Airbus 320. I will buy my simulator and then I will buy add-on. Like inside of the simulator, of course, there will be a Boeing, Embraer, Airbus. They will have their let's call default aircraft, but it won't be enough because, of course, there's an example Microsoft that makes Microsoft Flight Simulator. They will put attention to the Airbus, but they need to put attention on the Cessna. They need to put attention Pipers. So they have a lot of airplanes. Of course, they cannot be consistency. They cannot have like the small details that they're gonna improve you or in the long run. So you just need to find an a company that creates the aircraft inside of the simulator that you will fly. For example, Phoenix 320 is a really good tool for me. I bought it since I bought the Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 because that's the airplane that I'm flying and I really want to be professional. So it's way much more professional that you invest a little bit more of money that if I just stuck into the default airplane. That also applies with the any brand and aircraft that you want to master. And it's very misunderstood and it's very hard to listen when people ask you, "Hey, I have a simulator, but I don't know how to fly it." Today is the era that we have more information than we need. You need to lose the fear of flying and make mistakes inside the simulator. Believe me, that times, as stupid as it sounds, it is way much better that you just turn on the simulator, even if you don't know anything, you just try to know how it works. Just trial and error, trial and error. When I was 8 years old, got my first simulator, there was not YouTube, there was nothing on the internet that I could reach it to know how to fly an airplane. I just started to try to guess what each button does. Sometimes I turn off the engine, sometimes I turn off the avionics, the power just shut down in the middle of the airplane. That's okay. That's good. That's the thing that you need to do. Like now, of course, if you have a question, you just type on YouTube why this happened, and it will explain you everything. Just lose this fear to on the simulator. If you crash, it's okay. That's why it's made the simulator to do these kind of mistakes. Do not hesitate to be on the simulator to fly. And because I tell you before, I won't learn the exact procedures because eventually the company will provide you with all the enough resources to start studying. You need the key. We're talking about that you don't know anything about the airplane. The key first is to get airborne. No matter if you do it good, if you do it bad, the most important thing is to get airborne. Once you get airborne, the first things that I will start learning or trying to practice is approaches or landings. That's what 13 plus years inside of the airline teach me. Most of the people that fails is during these phases, approach and landing. It's very hard when someone fails during taxi or takeoff. It's very hard. Usually when you are stressed the most is during this phase, during approach and landing. I'm not telling that other phases aren't important. Yes, they are. But before getting into the initial training, I would just focus completely on the approaches and landings and to get it. At the beginning, you just do it as you can, but then there is some resources outside that they can teach you how to do the, let's call it, professional way. But again, it's more important that you just practice and approaches as much as possible. And also, what I will do is to land as much as possible. Once I was on the fly school, I was very proud of myself. I was, like chest up, and I was landing because I was doing a very, let's say, a hard route. And talking about hard route is just we are doing IFR procedure, which is on the communications. You go into Class Bravo airspace in US, which means that it will be more traffic. You were with Southwest, with American Airlines, and I was by myself. I was very proud that day, and I arrived. I landed, and then I saw my roommate, Ramon, and I was asking, "Hey man, how was going?" For me, it was amazing. I went into Dallas Forward, and a lot of traffics. They do some vectors for the approach and blah blah. And he told me, "Oh wow, I just went for Terrell. Terrell was a small airport nearby Dallas Forward." And I was like, "Okay, you went BFR, right?" That trying me to feel better. And she's like, "Yes, I'm just doing touch and goes." I was like, "Why? Why are you so afraid?" We are good friends. I was just messing with him. Why you're there is very boring. You should try to go to the west side when traffics are very intense. IFR only approved, blah blah blah. And he told me like, no, I will do that on the airline. Now what I need is to get a precise landing so I can land the biggest airplane when I have the opportunity to, when I have the chance to get into the airline. That makes me feel so bad that day later. It's like, oh, he's right. Now is the time that I need to practice and practice and practice the landings, because that's a very critical phase of the flight. And if you don't land well, no matter if you learn everything, no matter if you know all the procedures, no matter if you can have the best copy for failures, if you have the best management, if you don't land safely the airplane, they won't approve you. I'm, I learned that this thing that day, and since then I was really focusing on the approach and landings. With this example, I telling you this because the procedures won't be that hard after you practice the landings and the approaches. Believe me, it's, if you are confident on your flight skills, the procedures eventually will come. Eventually will not, might be not easy, but eventually you will get it. But if you are studying the procedures, and if the landing is not good and you start to feeling stress, eventually you will start to forgetting the procedures because you don't feel confident. You don't feel with this mindset that you can land safely the airplane. Of course, the most experienced and skilled pilots, I can tell you, they are not afraid of the failures. They are not afraid that something happens. They are just chilling out on the cockpit because they know that they can handle the situation if something happens. And forget completely about the abnormal procedures. That's not important, and before you get in there, eventually you will get it. And again, if you have the good basics, if you have the mastering of approaches and landings, that will come. And it doesn't matter if you just have one engine and you're doing a hydraulic failure. If you have a very good pilot flying skills, eventually you get it. Crew, thank you for listening to me. Please give me some comments, what you want to see, what you want me to talk more about. There are more Airbus 320 videos coming soon. Crew, we'll see you in the next one.